Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the Bitcoin price is forming a brand new higher high on the daily time frame, and we're currently breaking out to the upside out of the largest Bitcoin pattern that we've seen in years. This is setting up a massive price target for the Bitcoin price, so definitely make sure you're watching this video all the way to the end so that you're not missing out on any of this important information. And just before we jump into it, make sure to drop a like on the video down below, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you're not missing out on any of these future updates. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the daily time frame. And as you can clearly see here, we have just finished forming a huge cup and handle pattern. We've got a massive cup, and obviously we've just had the handle form throughout pretty much the entire month of September. And right now we're breaking the neckline for this pattern. The neckline was coming in at around 51,000 US dollars. All we're waiting on now is some sort of confirmation for the breakout of this pattern, because right now we haven't seen much confirmation. So for the new viewers on the channel, what I mean by confirmation is either a spike or a surge in the volume to back up this move to the upside, or if we could actually come back down and retest this previous resistance level and flip it into support with a bounce to the upside like that. Those are the two confirmation methods that I most commonly use. But other than that, we can also look at the candle closes. So with the candle closes, we need to stick to the higher time frame. So really at bare minimum, the daily time frame. So if we see a strong daily candle close above 51,000, which at this stage, it does look like we're definitely heading that way, and we'll finally get that confirmation in 11 hours when this daily candle actually closes. But of course, a candle on a higher time frame, such as the weekly time frame, can be even more of a confirmation of this break to the upside. And right now, this current weekly candle has about 4.5 days to go before it closes and starts the next weekly candle. So if we can see a weekly candle close, preferably above 53,000, which is this previous high just here, then honestly, that would be one of the most bullish things that we've seen since the all-time high for Bitcoin. And if that actually happens, a weekly candle close above 53K, then honestly, not too long after that, I would expect the all-time high for Bitcoin to come into play. And now for the fun part, getting into the technical price target for this huge cup and handle pattern as we are breaking out to the upside. The technical price target is coming in at over 78,000 US dollars, nearly 80,000 US dollars per Bitcoin is where this price target is coming in at. So obviously that is a massive price target for Bitcoin. And from the current Bitcoin price up to that price target, that's nearly a 50% gain. And of course, that's with zero leverage. So just a 10x leverage will turn that into a 500% gain. But obviously, I don't necessarily recommend leverage trading for the complete beginners out there. Trading should only be for those of you that have a little bit more experience in these markets. But either way, leverage or no leverage, that's definitely a massive move for Bitcoin. After we get above 53K, we have one last resistance level between now and that price target all the way up in that $70,000 price range. And that final resistance level is, of course, the all-time high itself. And the all-time high for Bitcoin is coming in at around 64,000 US dollars, nearly 65K. And by the way, we're actually getting pretty close to the all-time high. From the current Bitcoin price up to the Bitcoin all-time high, that's only a 23% gain. And to put that into perspective, just over the past 1 week, we've had a 29, nearly 30% gain for Bitcoin. So if we simply replicate the same gain that we've had over the past 1 week, we will be in brand new all-time highs. That's seriously how close we are from new all-time highs. And as I said earlier, I would expect a test of the new all-time high pretty soon after we see a strong break above 53K. And just don't forget as well that we need to see some sort of confirmation to back up this move, because right now we aren't seeing too much volume coming in. So use this information how you would like to, but basically I am more bullish obviously than I am bearish. And in fact, if you've been watching the channel over the past 1 month, during pretty much the entire month of September, I was leaning more bearish while we were in a downtrend. And then the moment we started breaking this previous high just here to finally make a higher high and kind of break out of that downtrend, which by the way, at that stage, we were at around 44 to 45,000 US dollars. At exactly that point, I let you guys know that I am flipping bullish on Bitcoin. And also while the Bitcoin price was down towards 40,000 US dollars, I was letting you guys know that we were sitting in extreme fear at that stage just a week ago. And at that stage, I was letting you guys know that I was heavily dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. And so obviously any of you that actually followed me on dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin while we were seeing extreme fear. Right now, that has turned out to be an amazing buying opportunity. And I'll let you guys know over and over. Anytime we see extreme fear, it turns out to be an amazing buying opportunity. Anytime we see extreme greed, on the other hand, it turns out to be a pretty good sell signal, or at least a sell signal that we're due for some bearish price action pretty soon. And speaking of the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, right now, we're currently sitting in greed. So we're not at extreme greed just yet like we were a month ago. Because yeah, as you can see, we were at extreme greed just 1 month ago. And on the charts, that was right here just before we saw a lot of bearish price action. So definitely keep this in the back of your mind as we head higher and higher in the Bitcoin price. Ideally, what we need to see sometime soon to stop this indicator heading into the extreme greed is just some short-term pullbacks along the uptrend. That's how you know we're actually having a healthy uptrend, like for example back here, because when we're seeing short-term pullbacks along the way, what that's actually doing is pulling out any over-leveraged long positions and also shaking out any weak hands that are just FOMOing into Bitcoin. And by doing that, by exiting those people from the markets, those are the type of traders and investors that will FOMO in at higher prices, which means that Bitcoin will have more fuel to the upside in this uptrend. But basically, the longer that we go without a pullback, if we just go straight to the upside, then the uptrend is going to end sooner rather than later. So that's why it's really healthy for Bitcoin if we do see some short-term pullbacks along the way. And the short-term pullbacks don't have to be anything major. You know, even a 5 to 10% move to the downside, like what we saw back here in this uptrend, that's perfectly enough to shake out the weak hands, get the FOMO buyers to actually panic sell. And then once again, those are the type of people that will buy in at higher prices, which will drive the price further to the upside. But all in all, I'm definitely still leaning bullish right now. Even though we are in greed, we still have room to the upside before we reach extreme greed. And yeah, as I said, ideally, if we have a short-term pullback to pull us back into the neutral zone, then this leg will simply carry us further to the upside before we eventually see some more bearish price action later on. And as I pretty much always mention in these videos, bringing out the Fibonacci retracement tool from the all-time high down to this swing low at around 29,000 US dollars, what we've got here is the golden pocket coming in at roughly around 53,000. That's the top of the golden pocket. And especially if we can flip this golden pocket into support with perhaps a retest to the downside, then that will be one of the most bullish setups in the Bitcoin price. And looking at some other important levels to the upside, we do have the 78.6% Fibonacci level coming in at around 57,500 US dollars. So at roughly around 57K, there could be a little bit of short-term resistance also due to this previous high just here. But with that being said, the 78.6% Fibonacci level is not as important as the golden pocket. So while there could be a little bit of short-term resistance at around 57K, I don't expect that resistance to hold very long. The main level for Bitcoin above the golden pocket is basically the all-time high before we can start looking at those much higher price targets. And also, I've been giving you guys these updates throughout the day over on my Twitter. For example, I posted this update 10 hours ago saying if Bitcoin breaks above that $53,000 high, then basically get ready for the second half of the bull market and it's going to be wild. I was also talking about how Bitcoin is pumping during a stock market correction just here and pointing out some patterns in the stock market. I was also giving you guys some updates on the performance between Bitcoin and Ethereum during previous bull markets. So seriously, if you want all of these extra updates throughout the day, completely for free, by the way, you'll find all of that information on my Twitter, and the link to my Twitter is in the description down below if you want to stay up to date in these markets at all times. And just as I'm ending this video, Bitcoin has officially broken into a new higher high on the daily time frame. This is confirming the second half of the bull market. And in fact, this is a higher high on the weekly time frame, as you can see here, and it's the first higher high on the weekly time frame that we've seen since the all-time high. So this is how you know that the Bitcoin market is seriously heating up and we're getting ready for the next major move in the Bitcoin price to the upside. So buckle up and get ready for some crazy gains. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you're not missing out on any of these future updates that I post every day here on the channel. And also right now, there's never been a better time to share these videos around with your friends and family as Bitcoin is currently beginning its next major leg to the upside. So once again, definitely make sure you're sharing these videos around right now to get everyone involved in these amazing opportunities. But anyway, that's really everything I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.